Artificial intelligence needs to be disarmed. The word is strong, I know, but deliberately chosen because this moment needs words capable of attracting attention, awakening consciences, and indicating paths forward for humanity.
It is a question everywhere these days, isn't it? From the evening news to our workplaces to our dinner tables, artificial intelligence is changing our world at a lightning pace. But as we hand over more of our daily tasks, our decisions, and even conversations to algorithms, how do we make sure we don't lose our humanity in the process? Welcome to We Move Forward Together, the podcast created by the Dominican Sisters of Amityville. I'm your host, Steve Yusko. In this space, we're going to explore how to build a better, more connected world for everyone, no matter what your background, belief system, or walk of life may be. Hey, I use AI at work, during my podcast, even for the screen behind me every day. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and incredibly timely document, that recent encyclical letter by Pope Leo XIV entitled Magnificat Humanitas, released just this May of 2026. Now, even though it comes from the Pope, he explicitly addresses it to all men and women of our time. You know, you don't need to be Catholic or even religious to find incredible wisdom here. It's a message for all people of goodwill who care about the future of the human family. Hey, I am not a professional theologian. I've studied theology, I've gone to seminary, and I just want to give you a summary and every man's day view into this encyclical. But it is an encyclical worthy of a deeper dive, more than I can do here on this podcast. In today's episode, I'll be summarizing this powerful letter, exploring what the Pope says about AI's impact on truth, the dignity of our work, and global peace. But we aren't just going to talk about the problems. We're going to look at the solutions. We explore the beautiful charisms or the spiritual gifts of the Dominican Sisters of Amityville: prayer, mission, community, and study. We will also discuss the sisters' exciting initiative, fittingly called We Move Forward Together, and how it provides a perfect, real-world roadmap to answer the very challenges Pope Leo presents in his letter. Before we go any further, I have a quick favor to ask. I want to know where you stand right now. Please scroll down to the comments and write your impressions and thoughts. Do you currently trust AI, or are you skeptical? Let's get the conversation going. Hey, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's move forward together. Kick things off, let's talk about how we view technology. Often we fall into one of two camps. We either think AI is the magic wand that'll solve all human problems, or we view it as a total disaster waiting to happen. Pope Leo gives us much more of a grounded perspective. He says that technology isn't itself inherently evil, nor is it a magical solution. It's a tool. But, and there is a big but, technology is never neutral. Don't kid yourself. It always takes on the values, the biases, and the goals of people who design it, fund it, and regulate it. I remember when I was a kid, my dad was a mechanic, and I would use his tools on occasion. He really trusted his tools, the right tool, for the right job. Boy, did I get scolded for using tools not for the purpose they were intended. Okay, back to the encyclical. To explain where we are right now, the Pope uses the ancient biblical images that perfectly capture our modern struggle today. The first is the Tower of Babel. You might know the story. People get together to build this massive tower to the heavens to make a name for themselves. They want total power, total uniformity, and total efficiency, entirely leaving God and human vulnerability out of the picture. The Pope warns that today we risk building a technological Tower of Babel. When we idolize profit and efficiency above all else, we end up neutralizing our beautiful human differences and reducing the mystery of human beings to mere data points. But there is an alternative, and it's super hopeful. It's the story of Nehemiah rebuilding the ruined walls of Jerusalem. When Nehemiah saw his city in ruins, he didn't impose a top-down, tech-only solution. He brought the families together. Everyone, men, women, artisans, young people, they all took responsibility for rebuilding a small section of the wall. They listened to each other and worked as a community. You know, this image of community building brings us perfectly into the charisms of the Dominican Sisters of Amityville. If you aren't familiar with a charism, it's essentially the distinct spirit and mission of a religious group. For the Dominicans, their life is built on 4 pillars: prayer, mission, community, and study. The sisters are called to be signs of joy and hope, just like Nehemiah, bringing people together to rebuild the wall. The Dominican pillar of community is about recognizing that we're all stronger together. You can't build things on your own. The sisters labor to promote human dignity, alleviate social ills, and bring people of all different backgrounds into oneness and peace. By embracing these pillars, we avoid the isolation of the Tower of Babel and instead become active builders of a society where everyone has a peace. So let's look at the machine itself. What exactly are we dealing with? One of the most profound points in Magnifica Humanitas is a reality check about what artificial intelligence actually is. It's easy to start projecting human traits into our devices when they talk to us naturally. Hey, artificial intelligence can mimic my own voice. By the way, I'm real. I'm not AI. You know, the Pope reminds us, AI doesn't have a heart. It doesn't mature through relationships. AI cannot understand what love, friendship, or forgiveness means from the inside. It might be able to perfectly simulate empathy, but it doesn't actually possess a moral conscience. Why does this matter? Because we live in a culture driven by what the Pope calls the technocratic paradigm. That's a mindset that says efficiency, control, and optimization are the only things that matter. Pope Leo warns that when efficiency becomes our ultimate measure of value, we're tempted to view human beings as projects to be optimized, rather than persons called to relationship and communion. So how do we counter this? How do we stay profoundly human? This is where the sisters' new initiative, We Move Forward Together, comes into play. Recognizing the challenging needs of our modern world, the sisters and their lay associates launched this initiative to invite individuals and groups to connect with them. The initiative focuses on 4 beautiful areas of action. We call them energy centers: community, ecology, social justice, and spirituality. Let's look at the last one, spirituality. The initiative describes this as, quote, exploring the mystery at the heart of life. This is the exact antidote to the AI mindset. While AI tries to reduce us to predictable data points and algorithms, the We Move Forward Together initiative invites us to explore the beautiful, unquantifiable mystery of the human soul. It provides workshops, programs, and spaces to cultivate a deeper inner life, reminding us that we are magnificent precisely because we are more than just machines. Hey, if you think you've found something here, leave a message for me in the comments. We answer every comment that comes up, and we'll connect you to someone here at the Dominican Sisters. We're about halfway through our discussion, and I want to pause for a moment and have a call to action. Write your impressions and your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you maintain your own spirituality and sense of mystery in a world that is increasingly driven by screens and algorithms? I can't wait to hear your answers. All right, let's bring it down to our day-to-day lives. The Pope highlights a few specific areas where AI is having a massive impact, starting with the truth. In fact, that's the motto of the Dominican Sisters, Veritas, which is Latin for truth. Have you ever scrolled down through social media and wondered, what's real anymore? AI makes it incredibly easy to manipulate content, create deepfakes, and blur the lines between facts and opinions. Pope Leo says the truth is a common good. It belongs to all of us. When we lose our grip on shared truth, our communities suffer. Here, the Dominican charism of study is vital. The sisters are committed to a lifelong search for the truth. In an AI age, this means educating ourselves, verifying the facts, and thinking critically instead of just reacting to the next viral post. Hey, I've seen it. The algorithm can create this bubble and feed us only the things we want to hear based on our history. We need to go out there and find out more information. It's out there. Next up is our jobs. There's a lot of fear right now about AI replacing human workers. The encyclical reminds us that work isn't just about earning a paycheck. It's a fundamental part of our human dignity. The Pope issues a really strong challenge. The pursuit of greater profits can never justify systematically sacrificing human jobs. Furthermore, the Pope points out that AI is built on the backs of millions of hidden human workers. There are people, often in developing countries, working long hours in harsh conditions to label data, moderate disturbing content, and exact the minerals needed for our microchips. The Pope boldly calls this out as a contemporary form of slavery. How do we respond to this hidden exploitation? We look to We Move Forward Together's initiative focus on social justice. The initiative challenges us to make choices that are life-giving for all. It calls us to advocate for the marginalized and to reject systems that exploit the vulnerable. By participating in community service, advocating for fair labor, and standing in solidarity with hidden workers, the We Move Forward Together initiative actively answers Pope Leo's call to ensure technology serves humanity rather than enslaving it. As we round the corner to our final segment, we have to touch on the global stage and our environment. The Pope is deeply concerned about AI being used in warfare, specifically in autonomous weapon systems. When we let algorithms make decisions about life and death, we lower the moral threshold for violence and treat human casualties as just data points. The Pope uses a great phrase. He says we need to disarm AI. Hey, that might be the soundbite that you're going to hear around social media, as if the Pope is against AI. Don't be fooled. I would like you to watch the speech the Pope gave. I'll link it both in the description and you'll see it at the end of this video so you can hear it from the Pope himself. So using the phrase, we need to disarm AI, it doesn't mean destroying it. It means freeing technology from the mindset of ruthless competition and domination, and instead making it welcoming, accessible, and friendly to human life. So you're asking yourself, what's the antidote to this culture of power and conflict? The Pope calls us to build a civilization of love. It means recognizing that we are all deeply interconnected and turning our digital connections into true solidarity and mutual care. This directly mirrors the We Move Forward Together focus on ecology. The initiative asks us to care for the earth, ourselves, each other, and future generations by creating sustainable, regenerative communities. Whether it's through the Sisters of St. Dominic Farm or their partnership with the Peconic Land Trust to protect land in perpetuity, the sisters are living out this civilization of love. They are proving that when we respect the earth and each other, we disarm the mindset of extraction and exploitation that AI so often accelerates. So we've covered a lot of ground today, from the Tower of Babel to the algorithms in our pockets. Pope Leo XIV's Magnifica Humanitas is a brilliant roadmap for navigating the future. Hey, I just hit the tip of the iceberg with a very small summary. I'm sure there are going to be many people smarter than myself doing deeper dives into this encyclical over the years, and I invite you, I'll leave a link for that in the description, to read the full encyclical so you can be well informed about this. You might be sitting there thinking, hey Steve, I don't run a tech giant and I'm not a world leader. What can I possibly do? He says the civilization of love isn't built with one sweeping global policy. It's built by the small, steadfast actions of everyday people. And the Dominican Sisters of Amityville have given us the perfect vehicle to take action through the We Move Forward Together initiative. By leaning into the charisms of prayer, mission, community, and study, and by engaging in what we call energy centers of ecology, social justice, and spirituality, you can be part of the solution. By the way, you may not know this, but the Sisters and Associates actually polled people all over Long Island to find out what they were looking for. And that's how those different energy centers came into being. All right, so you don't have to be a Dominican sister to join in. You just need to be a person of goodwill, ready to cultivate real-life relationships, advocate for the vulnerable, and help rebuild the walls of our community. Hey, technology is moving fast, I know it. But our human dignity and the capacity to love, to seek truth, and to build community is timeless. Let's not be passive spectators. Let's be the builders of a better world. Hey, before you go, here's my final call to action for you. Please drop in the comments section one last time and write your final impressions and thoughts. Hey, if you like what we're doing here, please share this video along with the other videos and podcasts that we do on We Move Forward Together. And please subscribe and maybe hit that hype button if you really like what we're doing here. Hey, let's keep the conversation going. Let's inspire each other in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Dominican Sisters of Amityville. I'm Steve Yusko. Let's keep moving forward together. Be well, everyone, and God bless.